I need to talk to you about David's garage. That's what I should have said a year ago when it mattered, when it would have stopped everything. But I didn't, and they destroyed me. Slowly, methodically, with smiles and condescension and helpful advice. For 12 months, I let them, and then at my daughter's wedding in front of 200 of their wealthiest friends, I destroyed them back. Let me tell you how. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm 45 years old, a widow, a mother, and, as of 2 weeks ago, a cryptocurrency millionaire. But I'm getting ahead of myself. David died on a Tuesday, March 14th, last year. Heart attack at his desk at work. 47 years old, no warning, no goodbye, just a phone call from his boss. Sarah, I'm so sorry. David collapsed. The ambulance came, they tried. He didn't make it. Didn't make it, like he'd missed a train, like he'd be along on the next one, but there was no next one, just a funeral. Condolences, casseroles from neighbors I barely knew, and silence. So much silence. We'd been married 23 years, met in college, fell in love over shared pizza and terrible movies, got married young, had Emma 2 years later. David was IT, systems administrator, good job, decent salary, $65,000 a year. We lived comfortably, not rich, not poor, just normal. I was a secretary, medical office, $42,000 a year. Between us, we made it work. Mortgage paid, bills covered, Emma's college fund growing steadily. Normal, boring, happy, until it wasn't. The funeral was small. David's family came, his mother Diane, his stepfather Richard, David's stepsister Vanessa, all dressed in black, all appropriately somber. I'd never been close with them. David had kept distance. They're complicated, he'd say, better in small doses. I understood why at the funeral reception. Poor Sarah, Diane said, loud enough for others to hear. What will you do now? David handled everything, didn't he? I'll manage, I said. Of course you will. You're strong. But if you need help, financial help, don't hesitate to ask. Family helps family. It sounded kind, it wasn't. There was something in her tone, pity mixed with satisfaction, like she'd been waiting for this, for David to die, for me to need her. Richard was worse, quieter, more calculating. Sarah, have you looked at David's finances, insurance, savings? You'll need to get organized. I can recommend my financial advisor. Pro bono, of course. We know money is tight. Money isn't tight, I said. Of course, but David's gone now. His income is gone. You'll need to adjust. Downsize maybe. Smaller house, older car. Budget carefully. I have a job. Yes, secretary work. That's good. Every bit helps. But realistically, Sarah, $40,000 a year, that's not much. Not for a mortgage. Not for Emma's college. You'll need support. I should have told him to fuck off. Should have said David left insurance, left savings, left me taken care of. But I didn't know that yet, didn't know anything yet, so I just nodded, smiled. Let him condescend. Vanessa was the worst. 32, Instagram influencer, married to money, dripping in designer labels and entitlement. Sarah, I'm so sorry, she said, hugging me, her perfume overwhelming. David was, well, he was my stepbrother. We weren't close, but still, tragic. Thank you. How's Emma handling it? She's devastated. They were close. Of course. And you, how are you managing? Financially, I mean. David's salary was decent, but now I'm fine. Are you, though? Because if you need help, I know a great consignment shop for clothes. And food banks, no shame in that. Lots of people use them. Food banks, she was suggesting food banks, at my husband's funeral. I wanted to slap her, wanted to scream, wanted to throw her out. But Emma was there, crying, grieving, needing me strong. So I smiled, thanked her, walked away. That was the beginning, the funeral, the subtle digs, the helpful suggestions, The condescension wrapped in concern. It got worse. A week later, Diane called. Sarah, I've been thinking you should sell the house. What? The house. It's too big, too expensive. You can't afford it alone. Sell it, get a small apartment, something manageable. I can afford the house. Can you? Really? Be honest with yourself. David's income is gone. You're making what? 40,000? The mortgage alone is 1,800 a month. Then utilities, maintenance, property tax. You're drowning, Sarah. Sell before you lose it. I'm not selling. Pride is expensive. Don't let it bankrupt you. I'm trying to help. I don't need help. Everyone needs help, especially widows with teenage daughters and secretary salaries. Think about Emma. Think about her future. Don't let stubbornness ruin her life. I hung up, hands shaking, furious, but also scared. Because what if she was right? What if I couldn't afford it? What if I was delusional? I checked our accounts that night. Joint savings, $42,000. David's 401k, $89,000. Life insurance, $100,000. $231,000 total. Enough for Emma's college. Enough to cover expenses for years. Enough to breathe. I wasn't broke, wasn't drowning, wasn't desperate. Diane was wrong, but she didn't stop. None of them stopped. Richard sent me links. Budget apartments in your area. Financial counseling for struggling families. Part-time jobs for supplemental income. Vanessa posted on Instagram a photo of me at the funeral. Caption, heartbroken for my stepsister-in-law. Losing a spouse is devastating. Praying for her and Emma during this difficult financial time. Family first, supporting widows financial time. She'd made my grief about money. Publicly. Emma saw it. Came to me crying. Mom, are we poor? Vanessa said we're struggling. Is that true? No, baby, we're fine. We have savings, insurance. We're okay. But she said, Vanessa doesn't know what she's talking about. We're fine, I promise. But Emma didn't believe me because Vanessa's post had comments. Diane's friends, Richard's colleagues, all offering sympathy, donations, help for the struggling family. My daughter thought we were charity cases because David's family made us charity cases. I should have fought back then, should have shown bank statements, proved we were fine. But I was grieving, exhausted, barely functioning, so I let it slide, let them talk, let them assume, mistake. 2 months after David died, Diane hosted a family dinner, invited me and Emma. We need to stay connected, she said. Family is everything. We went. Emma wanted to see them, wanted family, wanted normalcy. The dinner was at Diane and Richard's house. Massive estate, gated community, worth millions. We arrived in my Honda Civic, 10 years old, reliable, paid off. Vanessa was there with her husband Marcus, both in designer everything. Vanessa looked at my car, smirked. Still driving that thing? Sarah, Marcus can get you a deal on a newer used car, something safer, more reliable. It's reliable. It's a death trap. But okay, your choice. Inside, the house was obscene. Marble everything. Crystal chandeliers. Art that cost more than my annual salary. Diane greeted us, kissed Emma, looked at me. Sarah, you look tired. Are you sleeping? Eating? I'm fine. You don't look fine. You look thin, stressed. Are you managing? Financially? Yes. Because if you're not, we can help. Richard and I have discussed it. We're prepared to offer assistance, a monthly stipend. Just until you get back on your feet. I don't need a stipend. Pride, Sarah, it's your biggest flaw. Accept help when it's offered. Dinner was worse. They seated me at the far end of the table. Emma next to Diane. Me isolated. Alone. Richard talked about his investments. Stock portfolio. Real estate. Passive income is key, he said, looking at me. Something you should consider, though I suppose that requires capital, which you don't have. Vanessa talked about her latest brand deal, $50,000 for Instagram posts. It's insane, she laughed. I make more in a month than most people make in a year. No offense, Sarah. Offense taken. Very much taken. Diane asked Emma about college plans. I want to go to UCLA, Emma said. Pre-med. UCLA. Wonderful. Expensive, though. Out-of-state tuition is brutal. Can you afford that, Sarah? We have a college fund. How much? Enough. Because UCLA is $60,000 a year. For 4 years, that's $250,000. Do you have $250,000? We'll manage. Loans, you mean, student debt. 30 years of payments. What a burden for Emma. Maybe community college first, transfer later, more affordable. Emma's face fell. Community college. Her dream dying in real time. Emma's going to UCLA, I said. We'll figure it out. Of course you will, somehow. Through sacrifice and struggle and probably bankruptcy, but sure, UCLA. I wanted to leave, wanted to grab Emma and run, but Emma was listening to Diane's stories about David as a child, about family trips, about memories Emma didn't have. So I stayed, endured, smiled through gritted teeth. After dinner, I went to the bathroom, upstairs, away from everyone. Passing Diane's bedroom, I heard voices. Diane and Vanessa. Door cracked open. I stopped, listened. Did you see her car? Vanessa said, laughing. That piece of shit Honda. I can't believe she drives Emma in that. She's proud, Diane said. Too proud to accept help. Too stupid to see she's drowning. How long until she loses the house? 6 months, maybe. She can't afford it. Not on secretary money. She'll default. Foreclose. Then she'll come begging. And we'll help her, generously. Make sure everyone knows how charitable we are. Exactly. Poor tragic Sarah. Can't survive without her husband, without us. It's almost poetic. Do you think David left her anything? Hidden money? David, please, he was IT middle management. Decent salary, but nothing special. No secret fortune, no magic inheritance, just a small 401k and whatever insurance. She'll burn through it in a year, then she's ours. They laughed. Both of them laughed at my grief, my struggle, my dead husband. I stood there, frozen, listening to them destroy me. Ours. Like I was property, something to own, control, pity publicly while enjoying privately. I left that night without saying goodbye. Emma asked why. I don't feel well, I said. Truth, I felt sick, disgusted, furious. But I didn't tell Emma what I'd heard, didn't poison her relationship with David's family. I just drove home in my piece of shit Honda to my house I was supposedly about to lose. And I cried. For the first time since David died. Really cried, sobbed, screamed into pillows. Not because I was poor or struggling or drowning, but because they wanted me to be. Enjoyed it, planned for it. Then she's ours. Fuck them all. But I still didn't fight back, still didn't defend myself. Because part of me, small, scared, grieving part, wondered if they were right. Was I drowning? Would I lose the house? Was I delusional about our finances? David had handled everything, bills, investments, planning. I'd worked, made money, contributed. But he'd managed it all. What if I'd missed something? What if there were debts I didn't know about? Hidden problems I needed to check, really check everything. I started with bank statements, went through every account, every transaction, every automatic payment. Nothing alarming. Everything normal, manageable. Then insurance. Life insurance payout, $100,000, already deposited. 401k, $89,000, untouched. Savings, $42,000, plus insurance. $142,000 total. Mortgage, $1,800 a month, 12 months, $21,600. Other expenses, $1,500 a month, 12 months, $18,000. Total annual expenses, 40,000 roughly. My salary, 42,000. I could cover it exactly without touching savings. Emma's college, UCLA, was expensive, but our college fund had 93,000 plus the 401k if needed. Enough for 2 years. Loans for the rest. Doable. I wasn't drowning, wasn't broke, wasn't desperate. They were wrong, completely wrong. But they'd convinced me I was failing, struggling, pathetic. And they'd done it deliberately, maliciously. I should have confronted them, shown proof, shut them up. But I was tired. So tired. So I just existed, worked, parented Emma, avoided Diane's calls. 6 months passed, then 9, then a year. Emma graduated high school, got accepted to UCLA, partial scholarship. The rest we'd cover. She was thrilled. I was proud and broke my silence with Diane to share the news. Emma got into UCLA. Oh, that's wonderful. Can you afford it? Yes. Really? Because I remember you saying the college fund was enough. How much exactly is enough? Enough. Loans, though, right? Student debt. Some loans, manageable amount. If you say so. Well, congratulations to Emma. She's very lucky to have such a resourceful mother. Resourceful. Code for desperate. Scraping by, barely managing. I hung up. Furious again. Always furious with them. Then Emma dropped news. Mom, I have something to tell you. What? I have a boyfriend. Okay, that's normal. Tell me about him. His name is James. He's 25. Pre-med at UCLA. We met at orientation weekend. He's amazing. That's great, honey. When do I meet him? That's the thing. His family wants to meet you first. Dinner this weekend. Is that okay? Of course. There's something else. His family is wealthy, like really wealthy. I don't want you to feel weird. I won't feel weird. But I did. Because I knew. I knew what really wealthy meant. What kind of people they'd be. How they'd look at me, and I was right. James's family was Diane on steroids. Diane with more money, more arrogance, more cruelty. His mother, Evelyn, made Diane look warm. Cold eyes, thin smile. Designer everything. His father, Charles, was Richard times 10. Venture capitalist. Old money, generational wealth. His sister, Sophia, was Vanessa's evolution. 28, trust fund kid, never worked a day, spent her time curating art and judging people. Dinner was at their estate, made Diane's house look middle class. Actual servants, wine cellar, literal ballroom. Emma and James were sweet together. Young love, nervous, excited. I was happy for her and terrified because I saw how they looked at me, at my 10-year-old Honda pulling up, at my Macy's dress, at my department store shoes. Mrs. Mitchell, Evelyn said, shaking my hand, limp, dismissive. How nice to meet you. James has told us so much about Emma. She's lovely. Thank you. James seems wonderful. He is, pre-med, following in his father's footsteps. Charles was a surgeon before transitioning to investments. Very successful. That's impressive. And you, what do you do? I'm a medical secretary, Dr. Patterson's office, internal medicine. Oh, how practical. And Emma's father? He passed away last year. I'm so sorry. What did he do before? At systems administrator. I see. So Emma is first generation college? I went to college. Liberal arts degree. Of course, I meant first generation to attend a top-tier university. UCLA is quite prestigious and expensive. Are you managing the cost? We are managing. Loans, I imagine. Student debt is such a burden. We're fortunate James's education is fully funded. Trust fund. He'll graduate debt-free. That's fortunate. Yes. We believe in setting our children up for success. Giving them advantages, not burdening them with financial stress. Translation. You're burdening Emma. I'm not. Dinner was worse. Seated at opposite ends. Emma with James's family. Me alone. Charles talked about investments, Bitcoin. I bought in early, 2013, sold at the peak, made millions. Timing is everything. Impressive, I said. Do you invest? Not really. Savings, mostly. Savings, he laughed. Interest rates are what? 0.5%? You're losing money to inflation. You should invest. Stocks, real estate, build wealth. I don't have capital to invest. Right, of course. Difficult to build wealth on a secretary's salary. But maybe someday, if you budget carefully. Sophia chimed in. Mom, did you see Sarah's car? That Honda in the driveway? Is that yours? Yes. How old is it? 10 years. Wow, that's vintage. Do you have plans to upgrade? It runs fine. But safety. Older cars lack modern safety features, especially concerning with Emma as a passenger. It's safe. If you say so. I just think, well, if you're struggling financially, maybe sell the house, get something smaller, free up cash for a safer car. I'm not struggling. Of course not. I didn't mean to imply. I just meant, you know, single income, widow, teenager, inexpensive college. It must be tight. Tight, struggling, poor, always the same fucking implications. I excused myself. Bathroom actually just escaped. Found myself in their library. Floor to ceiling books, first editions, probably never read. Evelyn found me. Sarah, there you are. I wanted to speak privately. About? James and Emma. They're young, in love. We're supportive but practical. James has a trust fund, significant assets. We need to protect that. I'm not after his money. I'm not suggesting you are, but Emma, well, she comes from modest means. We need to ensure that if this relationship progresses, marriage, for instance, there are protections, prenuptial agreements, asset separation. They're 23 and 25. Marriage isn't not yet, but eventually. And we plan ahead. We protect what's ours. I'm sure you understand. You'd do the same if you had assets to protect. If, not when, if. Like I'd never have assets. Never be worth protecting from. I understand, I said. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. We are not judging you, Sarah. Circumstances are what they are. David's death left you in a difficult position. You're doing your best. That's admirable. Admirable. Fucking admirable. Like I was a charity case doing surprisingly well. I left that night wanting to scream. Emma was oblivious, happy, glowing. James's family is so nice, don't you think? Very nice. Evelyn offered to help with wedding planning when the time comes. Isn't that sweet? Very sweet. I didn't tell Emma what Evelyn said about prenups, about protecting against me, against us, because Emma was happy and I'd already lost her father. Couldn't lose her joy, too. 3 months later, James proposed. Emma said yes. I was happy for her, genuinely. James was kind, good, loved her, but his family. The engagement party was at their estate. Huge event. 200 guests, catered, live music, obscene. Emma was radiant. James was proud. I was there, seated in the back, with staff family, other people's secretaries, drivers, housekeepers, Evelyn's seating choice. We organize by professional affiliation, she explained. You'll be more comfortable with people in similar positions. Similar positions? Service workers, the help. Diane was there with Richard and Vanessa, front row. Family of the bride. But I was back row, because I wasn't really family, not their kind. During speeches, Evelyn stood. We're thrilled to welcome Emma into our family. She's bright, driven, accomplished, and we're committed to supporting her. And her mother, of course. Sarah has done a wonderful job raising Emma alone, on limited means. It's admirable. And now Emma will have the advantages she deserves. Education fully funded, career support, financial security, everything Sarah couldn't provide. Couldn't provide. She said it out loud to 200 people that I couldn't provide for my daughter. Emma looked uncomfortable. James squeezed her hand. I sat there, smiling, dying inside. Diane approached after. That was rough. Evelyn is direct. She's honest. She's cruel, but between us, Sarah, maybe it's good. Emma marrying into wealth, security for her future. You've struggled so much. At least now she won't have to. I haven't struggled. Of course you have. We've all seen it. The old car, the budget lifestyle. You've done your best. But let's be honest, David's death left you broke. This marriage saves Emma from that fate. Saves her. Like I was a disease she needed saving from. I left early, told Emma I didn't feel well. Truth. I felt sick. Sick of them. Sick of their pity. Sick of their cruelty disguised as concern. And then the wedding planning started, and it got worse. So much worse. Evelyn took over completely. We're paying, so we're planning. Venue, their country club, $50,000, catering, Michelin-starred chef, $30,000, flowers, imported, $15,000, dress, Vera Wang, $25,000, total, over $120,000. And Evelyn reminded me constantly, Sarah, we're covering everything, every penny, so you just relax. Enjoy, don't worry about costs. Like I should be grateful, like I owed her. Diane called. Did you hear? Evelyn's spending over $100,000 on this wedding. Can you imagine? That's more than your annual salary. Multiple years of salary for one day. It's generous. It's showing off, showing that she can, that you can't, that Emma needs them, not you. Emma doesn't need anyone. She's capable. Sarah, stop. We both know the truth. You're broke, have been since David died. This wedding proves it. If you could afford it, you would. But you can't. So Evelyn does. And Emma will spend her life grateful to them, not you. I hung up, sat in silence, and realized something. They were right. Not about me being broke, but about appearances. I looked broke, drove an old car, wore cheap clothes, let them pay for everything. From the outside, I was exactly what they said. Struggling widow, can't afford her daughter's wedding, charity case, even though I had savings, had insurance money, had enough. I looked like I had nothing and they loved it, feeding on it, broadcasting it. But I didn't have enough to compete, couldn't outspend Evelyn, couldn't match a $100,000 wedding, so I'd always look poor, always be pitied, always be less. Unless I found something, some resource David left, some asset I'd missed. I went through everything again, bank statements, insurance, 401k, investments. Nothing new, nothing big, same amounts. Then I thought about David's stuff, physical belongings, maybe something valuable, collectibles, antiques. I checked closets, drawers, boxes. Nothing. Then I remembered. The garage. David's garage. Behind the house, his space, his sanctuary, where he spent evenings. I'd brought him tea out there sometimes. Saw him on the computer, playing guitar, reading. But I never stayed. Never looked around. It was his space. After he died, I avoided it. Too painful, too full of him. Now, desperate, I decided to check. Maybe tools worth selling? Equipment? Something? The garage wasn't locked, never had been. I just hadn't gone in. I opened the door, stepped inside. It looked like he'd just left. Guitar on stand, books on shelf, computer on desk. I sat in his chair, felt his presence, missed him desperately. The computer, old desktop, maybe worth selling. I should check if it works. I pressed the power button. It booted up. Windows login screen, password protected. Of course, I tried our anniversary, wrong. Emma's birthday, wrong. Our address, wrong. Then I saw it. Yellow sticky note on the monitor. David's handwriting. Wallet password, Emma Starfish 2014 seed phrase. 12 words listed. Important for Sarah. Emergency only. Wallet password? What wallet? I Googled on my phone. Wallet password, cryptocurrency. Results. Bitcoin wallet, crypto wallet, digital currency. David had cryptocurrency? I kept searching, found instructions, downloaded Bitcoin Core Wallet app on the computer, followed the steps, entered the seed phrase from the sticky note. The wallet opened, and I saw a number. Balance 37.0 BTC 37 Bitcoin. I stared at it, not understanding. Was that a lot? A little? I Googled Bitcoin price. Current price, 66,999 per BTC. I did the math. 37, 66.99, 2,478, 960 plus $2 million, $478,963, nearly $2.5 million in David's garage. The whole time, I sat there and couldn't breathe, couldn't move, couldn't process. My husband, my dead husband, had left me a fortune, and I'd spent a year being pitied, mocked, humiliated, while sitting on millions. The computer had more. A folder labeled Bitcoin Investment Log. I opened it. Text file, David's notes. March 15, 2017, bought 37 BTC at 1,180 per coin. Total investment, 43,660, holding long-term for Emma's education. If something happens to me before I tell Sarah, password info on monitor, love you both, D 2017, 7 years ago. He'd bought 37 Bitcoin for $43,000, now worth $2.5 million. And he died before telling me. No note in his will, no mention anywhere. Just this, in the garage, hidden, waiting for me to find it. Eventually, I read more files, investment research, price tracking, his plan. He'd watched it grow, from 40,000 to 1 million to 2 million. Planning to tell me, planning to surprise Emma, then he died. Suddenly, password on a sticky note, his only legacy. I cried for him, for the secret he'd kept meaning to share, for the fortune he'd left without saying, but also for me, for the year I'd endured, the humiliation, the pity, the cruelty, while his family called me poor, while Evelyn said I couldn't provide, while Diane planned for me to be theirs. I had $2.5 million, and they had no idea. I made a decision, right there, in that garage. I wouldn't tell them, not yet, not until the perfect moment. They wanted poor Sarah, struggling widow, charity case. I'd give them exactly that. Let them believe it, enjoy it, savor it. And then, when they were most satisfied, most smug, most publicly cruel, I'd destroy them, I researched, consulted a financial advisor discreetly, confirmed the Bitcoin was real. Convertible, mine. I moved some to a secure wallet, kept the rest, opened an account with a cryptocurrency exchange, verified my identity, linked my bank, converted a small amount, $10,000 just to test. It worked. Money appeared in my bank account, real, spendable, mine. I could have converted it all, could have bought a new car, new house, new everything, but I didn't. I kept driving the Honda, kept wearing Macy's, kept working my secretary job. I kept being poor Sarah because the wedding was in 2 months and I had plans. The wedding planning accelerated. Evelyn micromanaged everything. Sarah, I need your guest list. How many from your side? Maybe 20. Friends, co-workers, family. 20. We're inviting 200. But okay, give me names. I'll send invitations. Consistent design. We're handling it all. I can't. No need. We've got it. Just give me names. I gave names. She sent invitations. Expensive. Embossed. Mr. and Mrs. Charles Hamilton request the pleasure of your company, not me. Not Emma's mother. Just them. Their event. Their show. Dress shopping was worse. Evelyn took Emma to boutiques. Tried on gowns. 15,000, 20,000, more. What do you think, Sarah? Emma asked, modeling a Monique Lhuillier. $18,000. It's beautiful. It's perfect, Evelyn said. We'll take it. Alterations needed, obviously. We'll schedule those. Mom, what will you wear? Emma asked. I have a dress. From where? Nordstrom, it's nice. Evelyn's nose wrinkled. Nordstrom, how accessible. What color? Navy blue. Navy is traditional mother of the bride. That works. As long as it's appropriate, nothing too budget looking. This is a high-end event. It's appropriate. I'm sure it is. You have good instincts within your range. Within my range. Always qualifiers, always limits. 2 weeks before the wedding, Evelyn hosted a bridal shower at her house. 50 women, all wealthy, all judging. I arrived in my Honda, parked between Mercedes and Teslas. Evelyn greeted me. Sarah, there you are, come in. Everyone's here. Inside was obscene. Champagne, catered food, designer gifts. Emma opened presents, KitchenAid mixer, Le Creuset cookware, Hermès China. Each gift cost more than my monthly salary. Then Evelyn announced, and a special gift from Charles and me, a key, car key. We're giving you a Tesla, Emma, Model S wedding gift. You can't drive that old Honda anymore. Not as a Hamilton. Emma squealed, hugged them, thrilled. I sat there. My Honda. The one I'd driven her in for years. Suddenly shameful. Not good enough. Vanessa leaned over. Don't feel bad, Sarah. You did your best. Some people are just better positioned to provide. I smiled. Said nothing. Later, Evelyn pulled me aside. Sarah, I want to talk about your wedding responsibilities. Okay. Traditionally, the bride's family covers certain costs, rehearsal dinner, bridesmaids' gifts, etc. But given your situation, we're happy to cover everything. You don't need to worry. I can contribute with what? Your secretary's salary? Sarah, be realistic. This wedding costs over $120,000. Your annual income is $42,000. You can't contribute meaningfully, and that's fine. Let us handle it. I have savings. Savings you need for your future, for emergencies. Don't deplete them for pride. Accept our help gracefully. I'm not asking for help. You don't have to ask. We're offering because we can, because Emma deserves it, and because, frankly, you can't. Can't. The word hung there. Final. Definitive. Thank you, I said, through clenched teeth. She smiled. Victorious. That night I went to the garage, checked the Bitcoin wallet. Price had gone up. 37 Bitcoin now worth $2,543,700, $2.5 million. And Evelyn had just told me I can't contribute meaningfully. I smiled. Alone in the garage. You have no idea, I whispered. 1 week before the wedding, Diane called. Sarah, I heard Evelyn offered to cover everything. That's so generous. Very. Must be a relief. Not having to worry about costs. Not having to choose between Emma's wedding and paying your mortgage. I'm not choosing between anything. Of course not. Because Evelyn chose for you, paid for you, saved you. Honestly, Sarah, you're lucky. Some brides' mothers would be insulted having in-laws take over. But you're practical. You know you can't compete, so you step aside. That's mature. I'm not stepping aside. You are, and that's okay. Emma's marrying into wealth, real wealth, generational wealth. She'll never struggle like you did, like you do. That's a gift, even if it's not from you. Like you do. Present tense, still struggling, still poor, always. I have to go, I said. Of course. Work tomorrow, secretary hours, early start? Yes. Such dedication. Working until the very end. Even with Emma's wedding this weekend. Most mothers would take time off, but you can't afford to miss work, can you? Goodbye, Diane. I hung up, shaking, furious. I went to the garage, converted $50,000 from Bitcoin to cash, just because I could. Just to see the number in my bank account. Balance, $137,000 in savings, plus $50,000 converted. 187,000, nearly 200,000 in my checking account, available, liquid, more than Diane's annual household income. And she just asked if I could afford to miss work. I laughed, alone, hysterically. They had no fucking idea. Wedding day arrived. I woke up early, got ready, put on my Nordstrom dress. Actually, I wore an old navy dress, 10 years old, cheap, exactly what they expected. Because I had another dress, a real dress, hidden in my car, $15,000 Valentino, purchased 2 days ago, secretly for later. But for now, I looked like poor Sarah. Budget dress, minimal jewelry, modest everything. I drove to the venue in my Honda, parked in the back, away from the Teslas. Emma was getting ready, looked stunning, happy, nervous. "Mom, you came. I was worried you'd be late." "I'm never late." "I know, I'm so nervous." "You look perfect. James is lucky." "I'm lucky too." Evelyn entered, looked at me, smiled thinly. "Sarah, that's your dress?" "Yes. It's navy, traditional. That's good." "Thank you. A bit simple, but appropriate. You look fine." "Fine." Damned with faint praise. "You look lovely, Evelyn." "Thank you. Oscar de la Renta, custom?" "I wanted to look my best for the photos." Of course she did. The ceremony was beautiful. Emma and James exchanged vows, cried, kissed, married. I cried too, proud, happy for her. The reception was obscene. Crystal, chandeliers, live orchestra, $50,000 flowers, 200 guests, all wealthy, all dressed expensively, and me, in my cheap navy dress, sitting at table 12, with bride's family friends, not the head table, not even close, back of the room, Evelyn's seating arrangement. Organized by relationship importance, she'd said. Translation, I wasn't important. Diane was at table 3, with Richard and Vanessa, close to the head table. She waved, sympathetic smile. Poor Sarah, back of the room, where she belongs. Dinner was served. Speeches began. Charles stood first, father of the groom. "Emma, welcome to our family. We're thrilled. You're brilliant, accomplished, beautiful. And we promise to support you, financially, emotionally, professionally. Whatever you need. That's what family does." Applause. Evelyn stood next. "Mother of the groom. Emma, I remember meeting you. This bright young woman with such potential. And I thought, how wonderful, how lucky. And then I met your mother, Sarah." She paused, looked at me, and I understood. How hard it's been, raising Emma alone, on limited means, after tragedy. "Sarah, you've done a wonderful job. Emma is proof of your dedication, your sacrifice, your persistence. Persistence, like I was a stray dog that wouldn't leave. And now Emma has opportunities you couldn't provide. Education fully funded, career support, financial security. She'll never struggle like you have. And that's a blessing for her and hopefully for you too. Knowing she's taken care of. Taken care of by them, not me. Applause, sympathetic, pitying. I sat there, smiling, dying. Emma looked uncomfortable. James squeezed her hand. Diane stood, uninvited, but she stood anyway. "Can I say something?" as Emma's step-grandmother. Evelyn nodded. Gracious hostess. "I've known Emma since she was young, watched her grow up, and I've watched Sarah struggle. David's death was devastating, left Sarah broke, truly broke. She tried to hide it, tried to pretend everything was fine, but we knew. We saw. The old car, the budget lifestyle, the financial stress. We offered help. She refused. Pride. But this marriage, this union saves Emma from that fate, from poverty, from struggle, and for that I'm grateful to Charles and Evelyn for giving Emma what Sarah never could. Never could, she said it, out loud to 200 people. That I couldn't provide for my own daughter. Applause, louder, more enthusiastic. And I sat there, table 12, in my cheap dress, representing exactly what they thought failure. Then Emma stood for her toast. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Charles and Evelyn, for this incredible wedding. It's more than I ever dreamed. She looked at Diane, then at me. And thank you, Diane, for those words, even though I disagree with most of them. Silence. My mom isn't who you think she is. She's not struggling. She's not broke. She's not pathetic or helpless or any of the things you've all implied for the past year. Evelyn's face tightened. Mom worked her whole life, raised me, supported me, loved me, and Dad left us taken care of. We have savings, insurance, college funds. We're fine. We've always been fine. Diane scoffed. Audible scoff. But Mom let you believe otherwise. Let you think we were poor. Let you pity us. Mock us. Why? Emma looked at me. I nodded. Because she knew. Knew what you'd say, what you'd think, and she wanted to see, wanted to watch, wanted to collect every condescending word, every pitying look, every cruel assumption. And now, Emma smiled, handed me the microphone. Now she's going to tell you the truth. Mom? I stood, walked to the front, every eye on me. I took the microphone from Emma and I began. Thank you, Emma, and thank you all for coming, for celebrating, for witnessing. I looked at Evelyn, at Diane, at Charles, at Vanessa. I've been listening for a year to your opinions, your judgments, your generous offers of help. I pulled out my phone, pulled up notes, read aloud. Diane, you said, poor Sarah, too proud to accept help, too stupid to see she's drowning. Diane went white. Evelyn, you said, Sarah comes from modest means. We need protections, prenups, asset separation. She'd never have assets worth protecting. Evelyn's jaw clenched. Charles, you said, difficult to build wealth on a secretary's salary. Maybe someday if you budget carefully. Charles looked away. Vanessa, you said, she can't afford anything decent. Maybe consignment shops, food banks. Vanessa started crying, and all of you constantly said, poor Sarah, struggling, broke, pathetic, charity case. Silence, complete silence. I let you believe it. I wore old clothes, drove an old car, let you pay for everything, let you pity me. Why? I smiled. Because 2 weeks before this wedding, I found something in my husband's garage. Something he left me, something he'd hidden, something I didn't know existed. I pulled up my cryptocurrency wallet on my phone. Balance visible. David bought Bitcoin in 2017, 37 coins for $43,000. I turned the phone, showed the screen, the number. 37.0 BTC current value, 12,543,700. $2,543,700. Gasps. Actual gasps. I found it 2 weeks ago. Password on a sticky note. In his garage. The garage I avoided for a year because it hurt too much. The garage I finally opened because I needed money for Emma's wedding. Except I didn't need money. I had millions. I looked at Evelyn. You spent $120,000 on this wedding. That's generous, truly. But I could have spent $300,000. $500,000, $1 million. I have millions, Evelyn, literal millions. Evelyn's mouth opened. No sound came out. I looked at Charles. You told me investing required capital I didn't have. I have $2.5 million in capital, Charles. How much do you have in liquid cryptocurrency? He said nothing. I looked at Diane. You said I was yours, that I'd come begging in 6 months, foreclose, lose the house, need you. I smiled, vicious. I don't need you. I don't need anyone. I have more money than you, than all of you, combined. I looked at Vanessa. You laughed at my Honda, called it pathetic, Know what's pathetic? Your entire influencer income. I make more in Bitcoin interest per month than you make per year. Vanessa sobbed. I addressed the room. For a year you pitied me, mocked me, offered charity, called me poor, struggling, pathetic. I let you because I wanted this moment, this exact moment, when you're all here smug, satisfied, publicly cruel. And I could reveal the truth that you've been mocking a multimillionaire, pitying someone wealthier than you, offering charity to someone who could buy you. Evelyn, you said I couldn't provide for Emma. I can provide mansions, plural. I could buy this venue. I could buy your country club. Diane, you said I'd be yours. I'll never be yours. I'm mine, independently, massively wealthy, free. Charles, you patronized me about investments. I beat you. With one investment, made over $2 million in 7 years. How's your portfolio? Vanessa, you suggested food banks. Here's a suggestion for you. Try earning real money instead of begging brands for free purses. The room was silent, shocked, horrified. I handed the microphone back to Emma. Enjoy the reception, the $120,000 reception, paid for by people who think they're better than me, who think they saved Emma from poverty. I walked out, head high. Behind me, chaos, voices, shouting. But I didn't care. I was done. I got to my car, changed out of the cheap dress into the Valentino. $15,000 of pure elegance. I drove away in my Honda, my paid-off, reliable, perfectly fine Honda, and I laughed, alone, victorious. They'd called me poor. I had millions. They'd called me pathetic. I'd destroyed them. They'd said I couldn't provide. I could buy them, all of them, and they'd never see me the same way again. Never pity me, never mock me, never look down on me, because I'd shown them publicly, permanently. Poor Sarah was a multi-millionaire, and they were just assholes. Emma called an hour later. Mom, where are you? Home, I left. I know, everyone knows. Mom, what you did. I'm sorry, I ruined your wedding. Ruined it? Mom, you made it legendary. That was the most badass thing I've ever seen. Emma. No, listen. I've watched them mock you for a year, Diane, Evelyn, all of them, acting like you were charity, like I should be grateful to escape you. It was disgusting. You never said anything. Because I didn't know. I thought we were fine. Dad left insurance, savings, but you played along. Let them think we were broke. Why? Because I wanted to watch, see how far they'd go, how cruel they'd be when they thought they had power over me. And then destroy them when they were most smug. Yes, that's brilliant, vicious, but brilliant. I shouldn't have done it at your wedding. Are you kidding? That speech will be talked about for decades. You didn't ruin my wedding. You made it unforgettable. James must be furious. James is embarrassed of his family, not you. He's apologizing to me, for them, for what they said, what they assumed. What about Evelyn? She left, crying. Charles took her home. She's humiliated, completely humiliated. Good. Mom, how much money do you really have? Right now, 2.5 million, give or take. Jesus Christ. David invested 7 years ago. It grew. He died before telling me. I found it 2 weeks ago. I could have told you, should have, but I wanted revenge. Yes. You got it spectacularly. I'm sorry I hid it from you. Don't be. I get it. They deserved it. Every word, every revelation. They called you pathetic. Turns out you're richer than all of them. That's poetic justice. Are you okay? Really okay? I'm perfect. James and I are perfect. His family will recover eventually, or they won't. Either way, we're good. I love you, Emma. I love you too. Oh, and Mom, keep the Honda. It's funnier that way. I laughed. Actually laughed. I will. 3 days later, Diane called. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Sarah, we need to talk. What you said at the wedding, those things I said you misunderstood. I was trying to help. I never meant to imply, look, we're family. Can we move past this? Call me back. I deleted it. Evelyn sent a letter, handwritten, delivered by courier. Dear Sarah, I owe you an apology. My comments at the wedding were inappropriate. I made assumptions about your financial situation that were clearly incorrect. I hope you can forgive my presumption. For Emma's sake, I'd like to move forward amicably. Regards, Evelyn. Regards, not sincerely, not warmly. Regards, like a business letter. Formal, cold. I wrote back. Evelyn, thank you for your letter. Your assumptions weren't just incorrect, they were cruel. You didn't just presume I was poor. You weaponized that presumption, used it to diminish me publicly, repeatedly. You told 200 people I couldn't provide for my daughter, that she needed you to save her from me. That wasn't concern, that was contempt. I don't need your apology. I don't need amicable relations. I need distance. Emma and James are adults. They'll navigate their relationship with you independently. I will not. We are done. Sarah. I never heard from her again. Vanessa tried different approach. Instagram post, photo of her crying. Caption, when you realize you've been cruel to someone who didn't deserve it. I'm sorry, Sarah. I was wrong. I judged. I assumed. I hurt you. I'm working on being better. Growth, accountability, sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. She even hashtagged it. Comments flooded in. What happened? Who's Sarah? Spill the tea. She never responded, never explained, just left it vague. Performative apology without actual accountability. I blocked her. Richard tried too. Email. Sarah, Diane is devastated. The things you said at the wedding embarrassed her deeply. I understand you were upset, but publicly humiliating her and us was excessive. We've always tried to help, support you, be there for you and Emma. This is how you repay that kindness. I think you owe Diane an apology. Richard, I responded. Richard, Diane told people I was drowning, that I'd foreclose, that I'd be theirs. She said I was too stupid to see I was broke. I heard her, verbatim, through her bedroom door. She wasn't trying to help. She was enjoying my supposed suffering. I owe her nothing, certainly not an apology. You want someone embarrassed? Look at your wife. She earned every second of humiliation. Sarah. He never replied. The story spread. Small community, wealthy circles, gossip travels fast. Did you hear about the wedding? The mother of the bride? The Bitcoin? She let them think she was poor for a year, then revealed millions at the reception. Evelyn Hamilton must be mortified. Diane Mitchell, too. They were so cruel to her. People picked sides. Some thought I was brilliant, strategic, justified. Others thought I was petty, vindictive, cruel. I didn't care. Both sides knew the truth. I had millions. They didn't. Emma and James moved to Los Angeles, started their lives, happy, free from family drama. I quit my secretary job, didn't need it anymore, didn't need to work, but I did anyway. Opened a nonprofit, David's Legacy Fund, helping widows navigate finances after loss. Taught them about investments, savings, planning, made sure they didn't spend a year being pitied when they had resources. Used David's Bitcoin fortune to fund it. Helped hundreds, then thousands. Made his secret, his hidden investment into something meaningful. Something that helped others. And every person I helped, I thought, this is what Diane said I couldn't do, provide, support, lead, fuck her. I was doing all three, at scale. 2 years after the wedding, I sold the Honda, finally. Bought a Tesla, Model S, same one Evelyn gave Emma. Not because I needed it, because I wanted Evelyn to see me driving it. No, I could afford it. Always could. Petty? Yes. Satisfying? Absolutely. I drove past her country club once, saw her in the parking lot. She saw me, Saw the Tesla. Our eyes met. She looked away. Quickly. Good. 3 years later, Diane got sick. Cancer. Stage 4. Richard called. She wants to see you before she dies. Make peace. No. Sarah, she's dying. I know I'm still not coming. You're that cruel? That unforgiving? I'm that done. She spent a year hoping I'd fail, waiting for me to beg, planning to own me. She doesn't get deathbed absolution. She's sorry. She's dying. There's a difference. Diane died 3 weeks later. I didn't attend the funeral. Emma did. Paid respects to her step-grandmother, appropriate, kind, but I stayed home in my paid-off house with my millions. Unforgiving. Because some cruelty doesn't deserve forgiveness. Some people don't earn peace. Diane had wanted me to be hers, to fail, to need her. Instead, I thrived, succeeded, became wealthier than her. And she died knowing it, knowing she'd bet wrong, mocked the wrong person, underestimated the wrong widow. That was her legacy, her ending. Mine was different. 5 years after the wedding, Emma had a baby, my granddaughter, Sophie. I held her in the hospital, this tiny person, this new beginning, and I thought about David, about his garage, about the Bitcoin he'd hidden, the fortune he'd left. He'd meant it for Emma's education, her future. Instead, it became my weapon, my liberation, my revenge, but also my purpose, the nonprofit. The widows helped, the lives changed. David's $43,000 investment had grown to $2.5 million, and I'd grown it further, invested wisely, diversified. By year 5, it was $3.8 million, nearly $4 million, from one garage, one sticky note, one password. I'd used some for revenge, some for living, but most for helping, building, creating. David's legacy fund had helped over 5,000 widows by then, given them resources, knowledge, power, what Diane tried to take from me, dignity, independence, power. I gave to thousands of others. That was victory, not the wedding speech, not the public humiliation, not the Tesla. The victory was building something good from something painful, transforming David's secret into lasting impact, and knowing that every widow I helped was one less person Diane could prey on, one less Sarah to mock, to diminish, to own. 10 years after the wedding, I'm 55. Emma's 33. Sophie is 5. I'm still running the nonprofit, still helping widows, still growing the fund. The Bitcoin David bought is worth $7 million now. Market fluctuates, but trends up. His $43,000 has become life-changing wealth, and I've used it exactly as he would have wanted. For Emma, for good, for helping others, not for Diane's approval, not for Evelyn's respect, not for anyone's permission, for myself, for my choices, for my life. That wedding speech, that moment defined everything after, not because I was cruel, but because I was honest. I'd been called poor, pathetic, helpless, charity case, and I'd proven them wrong, publicly, permanently. They'd never forget it, never live it down, never look at another widow and assume poverty, because they'd remember me, remember Sarah, the poor secretary with millions in her garage, the woman they mocked who destroyed them with one speech. That's my legacy. Not the money, not the revenge, but the lesson: never assume, never underestimate, never mock someone's circumstances, because you never know what's in their garage, and you never know when they'll open the door.